used to pick tennis players and to play against the politicians. And I'm a bit of a tennis player and so forth. Pretty embarrassed one day because one of the government's players was Neil Fraser. Not so good. But what I'm trying to say by mentioning these things is it's not all that difficult in the sense to have happy memories about the good things. And then I won a Commonwealth Parliamentary Scholarship in my 7th year in politics. You had to be voted by your colleagues, and I was quite taken because there were only 2 a year, and I was chosen by the group of people that I worked with. I studied local government and education. Went via the Bahamas, who wouldn't, and then to America and England and back to Australia. And you had to make a full report to the Parliament about what you had found out in that situation. So whilst it was a nice freebie, it had some certain situation which was of use to the Parliament, I think. So having said all that, I turned to poetry and been writing poetry since I was in my teens at Melbourne High. I'd like to read a couple of one. Birmingham, my hometown, of course. Smoke-filled city, filled with pity, heart of England, motherland. Her iron foundries reach far boundaries. Her factory chimneys belch forth smoke, and sympathisers to provoke. Dirty, sordid town. But my heart is sown right beneath her streets. My home place will I not disgrace, for 'tis Birmingham. That was Birmingham after the war. That was my Birmingham that I left behind to come to Australia. On a nicer, in a more relaxed situation, we lived not far from Stratford-on-Avon. I suppose many of you have been to Stratford-on-Avon and the Shakespeare Theatre and so forth. Near the banks of Avon, the tranquil waters lie, breaking in the sunlight this lazy dragonfly. Ducking in the spray, the stately swan doth play. The pleasure boat glides past on some fun which will not last. The Shakespeare Theatre stands midst the bowers of the Strand. Sightseers stroll by gardens green. Next is the softly pleasing bream. On all the air of calmness falls like tinkling of fairy bells. A place of beauty, place of trust, not spoilt by autumn's yellow rust. Ever peaceful, ever lie, sight pleasing to the eye. So I wrote in that sort of graphic way with Birmingham and on the Avon, which meant so much to me. In retirement, I've been doing lots of things. I keep up with my fellow technical school principals. I keep up with the former members of the Parliament, both sides. Got some really great friends on the other side. I had some time in China. From 2000 to 2012, my late wife and I used to go to China to teach English at Chaoshan College, 4.5 hours by cross-border bus from Hong Kong. And I still keep in touch with some of the students that write to me on the emails and so forth. We had a wonderful time. Only 3 or 4 months a year. And I think that was really something, because I think 12 months in a full wave would have been too much. But we used to have the same room, the same unit, and so forth. Pay wasn't great, but you didn't need much to live in China. It was so cheap to do so in those days. So I've had a wonderful time, and I've had 2 books of poetry purchased, and that's the first book, which is the book of poems entitled Through the Years, and published in 2006. And then in 2017, I put out another book, Through the Years Continues, and this was put out by Amazon, as you probably know. They did a very cheap publication. I don't know what she did with, what they did with the publication, but they in a sense took control of my writings. If they make anything out of it, doesn't matter to me. But generally, what they're doing is they're very clever. This only costs $2 to publish. $2. They give me a tax return in case there's any sales. Don't ask the question. They're very clever. Because if they strike something which is good, then they make a lot of money. So I've got these here today. I bought some copies. I've got a charity that I give towards, and that is the Leukemia Foundation. My wife died of leukemia in 2013. If any of you want to make a small donation, I'll put that to the Leukemia Foundation. I've got copies there if you want to have a look before you leave. You're most welcome. It's been a wonderful life, and I hope it continues. And I'm very privileged to have the opportunity to be with you today. I'm